So, what does it really take to become a legend in the stock market? Is there some kind of secret formula? A hot tip you get from a guy who knows a guy? Nope. It's something much, much more fundamental. Okay, let's dive into the blueprint that really separates the amateurs from the masters. It's so easy to look at super successful investors and just think, wow, they got lucky. But what we're talking about today is the journey itself. It's not about the amazing view from the summit, it's about the grit, the sweat, and the worn out boots it took to get there. So let's just run with that idea for a minute. The stock market, it's a massive, and let's be honest, a pretty treacherous mountain. I mean, you wouldn't try to climb Mount Everest in flip-flops, would you? Of course not. You need the right tools. And the three most important tools you can have aren't some fancy algorithms, they are mindsets. Okay, so our first essential piece of gear is determination. And look, I'm not just talking about, wanting to succeed. This is about your why. It's that deep internal fire that keeps you pushing forward when a market blizzard hits and you can't even see 2 feet in front of you.
Oh, we've all been there, right? The market tanks, your portfolio is just a sea of red, and every single instinct in your body is screaming, sell, get out now. Well, determination is that quiet but really powerful voice in your head that says, hang on, stick to the plan, remember why you invested in this in the first place. To really get what this kind of resilience looks like, you don't have to look any further than Colonel Sanders. At 65 years old, with pretty much nothing but a Social Security check and a chicken recipe, he heard the word no a staggering 1,009 times. Now, just imagine for a second if each one of those rejections was a bad trading day, or a stock that just plummeted right after you bought it. And this is the whole point. He didn't quit after rejection number 500 or even number 1000. His determination was just so incredibly strong because he truly believed in his product. He knew deep down that all those no's didn't matter one bit if he could just get to that one single yes. And that's the crucial takeaway for us. When a great company's stock price falls because of some short-term market panic, determination is what allows you to see the bigger picture. You did the research, right? You believe in the business's long-term value. You're holding on to the business itself, not just a fluctuating price on a screen. All right, let's move on to our second pillar. And you'll see how this builds on the first. This one is dedication. And it's all about the hard work, the grind, that happens when absolutely no one is watching. Dedication is making that choice, to put in the hours. It's turning off Netflix to actually study a company's balance sheet. It's choosing to become a genuine student of the market, not just, a passive participant. This is the engine that drives informed decisions. I mean, think about Michael Jordan. Everybody agrees he was one of the most talented players to ever touch a basketball. But talent alone, that doesn't win you 6 championships. His legendary status was forged by his dedication. He was famous for being the first guy to show up to practice and the very last one to leave. And just look at the specifics of it. After getting physically beaten up by the Detroit Pistons early in his career, he didn't just complain about it, he got dedicated. He hit the weight room and completely transformed his body. He studied game film so relentlessly that he knew what his opponents were going to do before they did. This wasn't just trying harder. This was targeted, dedicated work to overcome a very specific obstacle. So in the market, this exact same kind of dedication has a name. It's called fundamental analysis. It is doing your homework. It's understanding a company's debt, its cash flow, its leadership, and its position in the industry before you even think about investing. Sure, luck might hand you a win once in a while, but dedication is what allows you to build real, lasting wealth. And that brings us to our third and final pillar. Now this one is maybe the most difficult of all to master, and that is discipline. Think of this as your emotional defense system. Discipline is what creates a firewall between your strategy and your emotions. Your friend comes to you with a hot stock tip, right? Greed is telling you to jump in, don't miss out. But discipline asks, does this actually fit my criteria? Does this align with my long-term goals? It's the boring, unsexy, but unbelievably powerful ability to just stick to your own rules. This is such a great way to think about it. When the market gets volatile, and believe me it will, that's the storm. The undisciplined investor, they panic. They abandon their strategy. Maybe they sell everything at a huge loss. But the disciplined investor, they stay at the helm.
They trust their compass, which is their investment plan, and they navigate right through the storm to eventually reach their destination.
So, what does this actually look like in practice? Well, it's your exit strategy. It's having the discipline to sell a stock and take your profits when it hits a target you set beforehand, instead of getting greedy and just hoping for more. And just as importantly, it's cutting your losses when a trade goes against you, exactly like your plan says to, instead of just hoping it'll turn around.
So there you have it: determination, dedication, and discipline. Individually, each one is incredibly powerful, but when you forge them all together, you create a truly unbreakable foundation for your entire investment journey.
Let's just break it down real simple. Determination is your survival gear. It's what gets you through the brutal market winters, through the recessions. Dedication, well, that's your map and your compass. It makes sure you're on the right path by picking solid companies. And discipline, that's your guardrail. It keeps you from making a reckless turn and flying off a cliff on some risky gamble. You see how they all work together? And really, it all boils down to this timeless piece of wisdom from Warren Buffett: patience. Patience is the direct result of determination, dedication, and discipline all working together in harmony. It really is the secret ingredient that allows wealth to truly compound over time. So that's the blueprint. It's not some get-rich-quick scheme. It's a guide for challenging, but an incredibly rewarding climb. The tools are right here. The map is in your hands. So the only question left is, are you ready to start climbing?